Hello, Priya ji. How are you?
Hi,
Good to
Nima,
hear after a
hello.
long time.
Yeah, it's very nice to hear that your voice is so nice after a long time, after our together work. Anyway, these days I'm a little bored because just doing at home, staying and doing my work and teaching on the line. So I have a very good idea that because of this COVID the problems and lockdown, why don't we do a nice project together?
Yeah, Priya ji, we have done a lot of projects in the past and they were all based on the classical dance forms, and at that time we could do a lot of classical work. But if you want to do something on COVID-19, nowadays we can't just do it in a straightforward way, in the classical style. We have to be brave enough and break out of that and do something new. But let me tell what is the project you want to do? What is the title of the project?
Yeah, we will keep some distance and everything, but based on the Kalki, because of this COVID, I think Kalki came as a COVID.
Oh, Kalki. Kalki means Kalki Bath.
No. Kalki means the Jayadeva's Ashtapadi, 12th century poet
You
from
think
Odisha.
you mean it's the 10th incarnation of
That's
Lord
right,
Vishnu as
yeah.
Kalki. It's an interesting. Okay, we can think about it.
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानं धर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनाय संभावामि युगे युगे संभवामि युगे युगे संभवामि युगे युगे म्लेच्छ निवाने कलयसि कारवाला धूमकेतुमिव किमपि करालम् केशवधृता कल्की शरीरा केशवधृता
gesture and how it flows from one to another. Priyaji, sorry. Priyaji will present now how Lord Vishnu first manifested and created an ocean and reincarnated as Matsya, the fish. He swiftly captured the demon who studied the sacred scriptures by heart and to spread it to other demons. These days, perhaps, demons are working through humans in polluting the natural environment like the ocean, hence posing a threat to the sea life and to the global climate.
The tortoise. Gods and demons, they were churning the ocean to bring the nectar from the sea to become immortal. As tortoise, the Vishnu would hold the mountain on his back for stability to churn.
The third reincarnation of Lord Vishnu is a wild boar. When the comet was coming to hit the earth, he took a form of wild boar and put the whole earth on his task to save the world.
To save.
The fourth reincarnation of Lord Vishnu is Narasimha, who is half man and half lion. He came to the earth to kill the cruel king Hiranyakashipu.
And cruel king's son was the devotee of Lord Vishnu.
Hiranyakashipu was a devotee of Lord Shiva, and he got the gift of immortality, that he can never be killed during daytime and during nighttime.
Not even on the earth or on the sky.
Or by an animal or a man. Sorry. But why are we telling this story, Nilimaji and Priyaji?
I think it is important, it is part of our tradition, and it is a mythological story. But at the same time, in the mythology we are also talking about the evolution story of how life began on this earth, and how life began from water and then earth and so on. And we dance these kind of stories in our classical styles when we learn the art form. Although in classical repertoire of Kathak, we don't learn the story of Dashavatara, but we did this in our production on the theme of Bhagavad Gita, and we tried to show the 10th incarnation.
And Priyaji, how do you feel when you're describing all these avatars?
Yeah, I feel that if you learn something traditionally, you have to let them know. Maybe you think that everybody know about the Samtar, but maybe some people don't know about it. So it is best to tell properly and finish properly. But anyway, my guru was very particular. That is why maybe I want to keep the art form like that. He was saying that if I correct even one pose of Kathak or Odissi, my Guruji, and if you keep one position until I say don't move. So if I keep this position in Odissi, and whether I got that, he will not change. And he will say, turn the heel little bit forward, turn the toe little bit. I say, okay, I am doing it. And then he will say, okay, then we can move.
That was a very strict training then. And that position there reminded me of the next avatar, next incarnation, which is the dwarf, Vamana. Vamana, Lord Vishnu came as Vamana to destroy the ego of King Bali.
King Bali was very generous, kind king, and very proud of that he has an ability to be anything to anybody in the world.
And Lord Vishnu came as a dwarf, asked for 3 steps of earth so he can make his house.
Bali laughed and he said to Vamana, go ahead and take 3 steps wherever you want.
And the Lord Vishnu took his real form.
The dwarf Vamana changed into a huge Vamana and took the first step that covered the entire world, and took the second step that covered the entire universe, and asked King Bali, where shall I put my third step?
I think still my head is not yours. So you can put your third step on my head. Put your third step on my head. Put it.
No, Nilimaji, that is so disrespectful. Sorry, I cannot do that.
But anyway, Lord Vishnu put the third step on his head and made him the underworld king and blessed him for the lifetime.
The next reincarnation of Lord Vishnu is Parashuram. And he came as a holy sage and took up a great sword and killed all the wicked warriors who were killing all the other holy sages.
He bathed in their blood 2 times, 3 times he finished all the warriors from the world.
Hence saving the lives of intellectuals and enlightened beings and brought peace to the world.
Kshatriya Rudiramaya Jagadambagata Pamam Snapayase Payase Samitamavatam Keshavadrita Rugapati Rupaya Jaya Jagatisha Hare.
The 7th incarnation of Lord Vishnu is Rama. He came to this earth to kill 10-headed wicked demon Ravana.
Rama was banished to the forest for 14 years. Together with his wife and his brother Lakshmana, they were living in the forest in a hut. One day, Sita saw a golden deer in the garden and decided to keep it for as a pet. Why are we telling this story now?
Why we are telling this story? Because in Leicester everyone knows about Ramayana story, and as part of Diwali celebration, everybody are very familiar. It's not only Indian people, but our other people also know. So this Leicester is a multicultural society, and we are educating them in storytelling of Indian classical art.
But we have to ask who don't know the story.
Who knows this? No. There are two people that know now. Maybe we need to tell the story now.
Okay, let's do it fast forward. There's the hut, they built the hut, and they were living happily in the hut for so many years, and Gita spotted a golden deer one day and decided to keep it for the pet. So she asked Garuda and asked Rama to go and please catch the deer for me. I'm going to keep it and look after it with all my heart. And Rama drew a big circle around the hut and told Sita, don't cross the hut, don't cross the circle. If you do, the forest is a dangerous place and things might happen. So Rama and Lakshmana set off, and in the meantime, the talented Rama came and came as an old man and asked Sita for food. And Sita reluctantly gave him the food, and he transformed into Rama, Sita, and took her to Lanka and kept her in his kingdom. At the moment, in that time, Rama was looking for Sita everywhere, and he formed this army of monkeys, waged a war on Ravana, and with a slant arrow he shot her, which hit Ravana's navel and killed him. And with that, they took Sita and went back to his kingdom. And we celebrated.
Thank you.
Diwali Rama. Eighth incarnation of Lord Vishnu is Balaram, who came to this world as a farmer with his plough. As he was about to strike the earth, where the rivers were dried up and hidden, in fear, Ganga, Jamuna, and Saraswati, they started flowing and gently.
And it's called Triveni.
No, the confluence of these three sisters is called Triveni.
वह शिव मुझे बिछड़े वासना हरे प्रीति मिल गया मुनाम केशव
That was the ninth reincarnation of Lord Vishnu, or Shukla, as you remember. Buddha.
Buddha came as the ninth incarnation of Lord Vishnu to stop these rituals of killing of animals and sacrificing animals in these rituals, as well as uplifting the untouchables and bringing the equality within
And
human
peace.
race and establish the peace. Ah, hello Priyaji. Good
Hi,
to see you.
Seema.
Face
It's
to
lovely
face.
to see you.
Lovely to see you. Yes, it's nice that with technology we can see each other now. Yeah.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine, Priyaji. I'm so happy that this Kalki project is happening now. But I would like to know that, as you say, it is predicted that in the 12th century, Jayadeva's Gita Govind, it is predicted that the 10th incarnation of Lord Vishnu is Kalki.
Because see, Lord Vishnu will not come with the black horse and white clothes and sword. He can't go to the whole world and show that, oh, I am here. So you can see the effect individual.
But then, what is the idea about Kalki as COVID-19?
Yeah, you see so many people because of all this virus, they are dying, they are going to hospital. So many millions in the whole world is suffering and nothing is happening. Maybe the Kalki has arrived.
You mean to say that there is imbalance in the world,
Yeah.
there is manipulation, and it's also environment. There are a lot of problems, environmental issues and problems. Do you think that Kalki has come in an invisible form to change the human behavior,
Yeah.
and to change their thinking in a positive direction
Sure.
and establish better environment and establish peace as well as stability
In the world.
in the world?
kind of digging around the story.
Couple of weeks is only 2 weeks.
Exploring the
10 days.
And maybe we can take a little breather. But if you have any questions, it'd be really nice.
I think
a little discussion can open around what you've seen, what you think you've seen, and how you maybe felt about it. Yeah.
What did you feel about this?
Well, I mean, maybe it's a bit early, but
Yeah, it is
how
just
did you feel that went? Maybe I'll ask you that first.
I thought the way we were practicing, compared to that, I think we did better presentation. Still yesterday we were not sure what to, we were juggling around.
It was quite a wild journey because the practices and styles are so different, and the approaches to making it are so different also.
And I think
you have such an old and strong tradition that you're working with, and sometimes to break that is very challenging. But we try to kind of give you a little bit more personal information about and a little view in on them, and that's the sort of territory that I think we could go much further with, But it was, from my perspective, it's really glorious to be with experienced practitioners who have a whole life and history of practice and knowledge of their art form and their dance form. And obviously that is with the music, which is just another incredible, powerful element.
We were practicing upstairs, and that was very inspirational for us. Thank you.
Oh, you are practicing what?
We're doing some music together, so
okay.
and we'll do it back down here for children.
Okay.
So just maybe the feedback for me is how relaxed, and I love that you are, like, you're so experienced and mature in your art form that you can kind of break out, speak to us, go back straight in, keep talking, keep moving, and then the connection with the musicians as well, which is beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. I think all classical dance form is very relaxed.
Apart from in the training.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, what do you think about this presentation of Kalki, which we are trying to combine with idea of Priyaji is that COVID-19 Kalki has come in invisible form as COVID-19. Of course, we still need to explore.
Destroying the world.
Yeah? Yes?
I think it's very good idea and very innovative as well. And this is exactly what is happening, because there's a lot of scenery on the earth. And this was believed that when there's a lot of scenery on the earth, someone will come up, and I think this COVID is the one who's come as a Kalki. Very good innovative idea.
Thank you.
Only one comment I would give you is, the eighth incarnation was Lord Krishna and not
And
Balaram.
Lord Vishnu.
And Vishnu, yeah. So
Because Keshava Dhrita, Kalki. So Keshava Dhrita is Lord Krishna and Vishnu is one.
Yeah.
But when Krishna born,
Yeah.
he was the full Puran.
That's fine.
No.
But because everybody, I believe, and I was told that
You should have told, yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
But in the
Krishna is
song,
eighth
if you
incarnation.
see Keshava Dhrita, Kalki Sharire,
Yeah.
Keshava Dhrita Matsya.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's understood, because a lot of people think Balaram is the eighth incarnation, which I thought was given as a portrait from there. And
Some people, they don't put Balaram, they just put Krishna.
that's right.
Yeah, but
That is what
Keshava is
I-
coming in every line.
Yeah, because that is what, if you look at the temple, and everybody is taught as Krishna is the eighth incarnation of Lord Vishnu.
Yeah.
And that did come
Krishna
out very
is
clear.
always there.
But
Yeah.
I think we have
There were many arguments about all of this.
Yeah.
And the stories, in
Yeah.
fact, it wasn't mentioned, but we did discuss this. And
Yeah.
in the presentation, we were going to say, actually, there were many arguments about the different natures of the stories, and
Yeah.
the stories within the stories.
Yeah.
There were lots of contradictions about what should and shouldn't be shown,
Yeah.
and who was what. And
No,
so
this is just a comment.
this
Yeah,
is
it's
like,
not. I'm not a criticism. It's just a comment.
yeah,
I
it's
felt
very
it.
interesting. I think.
I've always known that Lord Krishna is the eighth incarnation of Lord Vishnu.
Yeah,
And when
he
you
born actually, but always he is and Vishnu is a one.
Yeah.
no, but
Okay,
can you
no,
see,
that's fine.
India is big, and in northern India,
Yeah.
eighth incarnation is Lord Krishna.
Yeah.
But in Orissa, it
Yeah.
is Balaram.
Okay.
So if you go to South India, it
Also,
might-
yeah.
I agree. I'm just
Yeah,
not
so
not
I
any of the
think-
criticism. It's just a
And
comment.
this is Jadeva's prediction.
Yeah.
Jadava.
Very good. Very good.
And I think that is why I always say Keshavadhrita Rama Sharira.
Yeah.
And but in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is the 18th.
Incarnation, yeah, that's all. Wonderful. I think it was brilliant. Okay.
So any other comment? Yeah.
I think the earlier incarnations, really, the avatars of the Matsyavatara, Rajvaraharali, and to, or what we call it, Natsyavatara, is a lovely explanation, really, because a lot of people don't know about that as well, really, and what did they perform exactly as an avatar of Vishnu. So I thoroughly enjoyed those earlier parts, really. We all know about Krishna, Rama, and Buddha, one and all that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And then
If you read
bring it- and-
Ashtapadi, you can see Jadeva's book Ashtapadi.
Yes, not only that, it's also the development of humankind, human race on the earth, really. That is starting from water, going up to the present stage, of course, you see. The display of the coronavirus as the, what do you call it, next to the authority is coming along to try and destroy the humanity as such, really, and put a new element and bring it subdue with it, really, is another very good way to try and display things, really. I'm still not convinced about the 10th avatar, of course.
Yeah, but the way we present it, because our dramaturg, Rachel, she is of course trying to make it show that our language speak to the mass audiences. It's not, because people do not understand the classical art form.
I think one way
Some do
of-
and some don't. I mean, you can't please all the people. People that have a lot of study might find it very tedious, or who know the stories very well will find it really boring to hear these over and over again. But people who've never experienced them find it very interesting. So there's a big question always about how what are we actually doing and how we present to the most people, and what kind of experience we're giving people. But I just feel like they are so powerful as practitioners that somehow people need to experience them as people, and so,
I think the other part was the yugas, really, the Satyuga, Dwapara Yuga, and all that, and coming to the Kali Yuga, which is the end of it, and then again the recycling of coming to Satyuga again.
Satyuga.
Possibly another way of looking at the reincarnation element, really, that what's going to happen after the new Satyuga comes up, really, and who is going to be the avatar at that time as such, really.
I think that is not predicted yet, I don't know.
Yes.
We need to ask all the Sadgurus. Yes?
Why did you have to go through all the incarnations to talk about?
Healthy.
Why did you feel it was necessary? What was your?
I think just now our Gulab Bhai said that it was so interesting for us to know, because they didn't know the beginning of the avatars, like Matsya and Kudra, because there are stories among stories. But people know about Krishna and Rama and Buddha. So I think it is important that it's again re-educating, re-informing people.
also maybe there's a kind of element of revaluing what you've invested your whole life doing, And I think there is, it is hard when you're coming from something that's so traditional to then keep that value going in a cultures that kind of really undermine all of that, Netflix, whatever, the greatest films. I mean, how do you then keep this being valued?
But we keep compromising a lot in between.
But I think just to add on to that, how do you give it value? Like, does value mean you hold on to what was, or does value mean you embrace what might be, or a possibility? Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there's one thing is how it's taught, then I was taught like this is my tradition, and this is what I present. Or I was taught like this is what I made of it, and where does it go now? So like, where does the value lie in that? Like,
But I would think that it's something for a different generation to grapple with the material and bring up the tension of that. That would be interesting. Also, it's like, or that you work together intergeneration. You have these discussions and you let them be witnessed and discussed in public. I think then we can look at what how you feel about it and the future, how you grapple with those things, what meaning they bring to now for you, if any, I don't know, and
or maybe young people too.
and then you can. I mean, I'm so curious about that. I feel like there's something there for you guys to explore somehow. Yeah.
Come as an advisor.
You need to work with them.
He's already an outside eye for this project, but he's so busy. He just got back yesterday, and we tried to deconstruct within this story. So it was too early and too quick for us to.
I heard that you learned Kathak before.
No, he's a Kathak artist. He's a Kathak artist.
So you know the discipline of classical.
So what it means to have a discipline and to work with these incredible disciplines that are just like, you have to commit so many years to do this, and and the skill involved and the study is just phenomenal, and people don't know that. They see it and think, oh, that's so easy, or they pick out something they don't like, or oh, that story is doesn't mean anything to me. It's like, how do you, now it's up to the sort of younger generation to kind of see what that means to them, I think.
Yeah, but
fundamentally.
you must have
and if it
roots,
doesn't, then that has to be discussed,
roots.
I think.
Yeah. You do have a root, otherwise the tree can't grow.
That is great.
You are lucky to have roots. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Western classical dance doesn't have the same, nothing like what you guys have in terms of the roots of your culture. It's like,
add to that roots thing.
Yeah.
I think you're really right about the sense of these roots, but the tree also has blossoms, which are flowers. And I think the bees come to cross-pollinate, right? So I think, the sense of the roots is what nourishes it, but then I think this idea of exchange or opening up to another tree, another flower, and
But that is the seed goes and grow again.
yeah, but you need to cross-pollinate for the seed to grow, right?
Then sometimes just fall and grow.
That is also fine. I think, but we want to work with those flowers who are again, like somebody like Akash. He's our global dancer, and he works with so many wonderful artists. He has imbibed so much about the contemporary world, and I think he has a lot to offer some people like us, who are rooted in the classical art. Perhaps. Am I right, Rachel?
of course.
But then also it is true that they are so much busy themselves, even at home or with the children or with so many things, that they don't even give time to their parents.
That's true. It's
Yeah.
true, but this
My
is
own son sometimes is high and by. So
On a different subject,
Yeah.
I think what you've done today, is really come across in bringing COVID into it. Although you brought all the traditional dancing, everything, your efforts, your intellect, everything, the way you associated it with COVID, I think that's quite interesting.
that is what?
That the way we brought it to COVID, that is very interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you. But I think we still need to explore about, again, COVID-19 as Kalki and what we can do.
That's the main question. Is COVID-19 is a Kalki? That's what you're trying to
No,
say.
that is Priya's
Are we
idea.
going to worship? Then we will have to worship COVID-19.
Yes, but
But
that
it
is what we
was
said.
because maybe he is destroying all the evils. And but sometimes गेहूं के साथ घुन भी पिस जाता है.
No.
So good people are also dying.
No, but I think that is why we said that because there is so much imbalance and environmental problems and
Yes.
issues,
But that's the association, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
The
So maybe-
imbalance there in the outcomes.
Yeah.
And now the imbalance this. So it is a sort of not another tower or anything like that.
Yeah. So he's an invisible form, I think, trying to give the message about thinking in positive direction.
And see, if you
And
see
change our
millionaire
human behavior.
people, they can't buy their life. They just go to hospital and die. Money can't do anything. But I think togetherness is closeness, like you stay in the bubble, much better than just having lots of money and alone. And
Any more questions?
Yeah, I have one, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, did you explore, when you speak about Kalki, with talking about something at the moment, it seems like a form or in the outside world. But to you, within the inside, I know there's a comparison to COVID, but is there something which is about emotional turmoil within each individual? So each individual's kalki is different, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody is different.
So was there any thought on this from you and Priyaji? Yes, I can please.
I think the sorrow, happiness, crying, laughing, it is within everybody. Because they have sadness, they cry. When they go to temple, they really engross themselves with the Lord. They connected with the... And I think, individually me, when I do this item, my mother used to see every day and always say, today you're not practicing? I said, yes, I'll do it for you. And I really feel that I gone into it. I do feel that. Especially the last part, if you read on Jayadeva. So when he comes as a Krishna and then become Vishnu, it's a very good change.
Also to feel Kalki within, because of course Kali must have felt different. I feel, because I had COVID, so I had that experience. That it was an awful experience, I had twice, not here, but also when I went abroad in America, I had COVID there as well. So COVID is not leaving me; it's always with me. So,
Or I would say, Akash, do you mean by our internal negativity?
Yeah.
Is that what you were saying, that we all have some negativity and positivity? So within us there is a kalki and which we need to kill it. Is that what you were saying?
You can ask our Kalki.
For me, everything is internal. I take everything personally and I take it within before I create a movement and everything. So yes, it definitely, I had thought about it and internalized it.
How was it for you to work with established senior artists like Didi and Priyaji?
I must say we had a lot of laughs. Throughout the 2 weeks, that was the best moments actually, working with these two amazing artists. And
I think we had all the time questions, and sometimes with spontaneity we would come together, So it was lovely that we had explored all of it. And Priyaji and Kali, of course, they have a lot of experience of working on the shota all the time. So that
but this is the first time we've met and we've worked together, and I think we just needed another week to
stay together.
Yes.
Last to last, I must thank Nilima that through my life, she was a very important person for me, and especially her husband. He is like my elder brother. He is younger, but he really behaves like an older brother. Look after me a lot, all the time. And when I have rainy day, she was the one standing with me.
So I'm your Kalki.
You are my Vishnu.
Because of Kalki, your idea, we are here, Priyaji. It has made it happen possible because of your idea. It started with her, so I took it very seriously.
You
I
guys
feel
are
very happy to
inspiring us.
work with her, and this time with him and Akash as well. It was lovely to hear your
Of course,
comments.
our lovely Rachel,
Yeah, and Rachel. My problem is I never keep anything in my mind. And Rachel was trying to change my dialogues again. I said again, it is empty.
You can imagine.
She would every time speak different, so it wasn't difficult.
I cannot remember because English was my last language. So I can speak Bengali, Hindi, everything, English, everything, lecture, demo, everything. But if you tell me to go and say this, I'll definitely change the whole thing. But the meaning will be same, isn't it?
Sometimes
upside
Sometimes upside down, really. Yeah, Vinod?
I would like to congratulate the musicians, they are brilliant. I came a little bit late. I was waiting outside. I met the professor, but I think the program already started, so I missed the introduction. I like to be introduced Kalki himself. It was a brilliant act as well, and both the musicians.
Yeah, Yusuf Bhai is working with me from 25 years.
Wow.
And he knows everything by heart, really.
And I'm still 19.
But they're brilliant.
Kaviji I met first time,
Yeah.
but he is a lovely singer. His voice I really love.
Absolutely brilliant.
And Kavi Raj is our Ustad Dharamji, he sings youngest son.
Oh.
So he comes from a traditional
His father was playing with us.
Yeah, oh.
Dharamji has played with me
Yeah.
with my projects as well.
But I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I must say, it was a brilliant show. It was absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
And also Soraya as well.
Yeah, this is our Yes. Soraya loves.
Could I ask where you would like this project to go? Where do you imagine this project to? How do you imagine this project may evolve?
I think there's a huge potential in what we are doing here, because bringing together two amazing artists and the amount they know, and it was a struggle to get them to break away from their traditional form, but we are getting there. We just need another batch of R&D to develop that into further, and I think we can create a lovely piece.
R&D. Yes, R&D into production. Because then I think today we couldn't manage. We gave the lighting effects and everything, but the technician is ill. So
And when we came, it was
very
freezing cold.
So today the heating is down as well. So we manage in all the circumstances, but we kept the same lighting. So otherwise
Also, thanks to Kavi Bhai for doing the sound and the stage.
must thank Kavi Bhai, Kavi Raj, our dear Kavi Raj, that he managed all these technical aspects of lightings and managing all these mics and all sorts of things. So we must
And you know, I am based in London, and Suraya helped me a lot. Yesterday I had pain and she's a very good physiotherapist.
Great. So many thanks for coming. I don't know what's the time because we had to 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. Oh, we are in time. Wow.
So there is no age limit in dancing. That is the most important.
Yes.
That's the beautiful thing, and you are inspiring us. Let's carry on.
Nisha, you could have continued Kathak. You would have
She's
been
dancing with 2 knee replacements.
Stop continuing.
That's an inspiration.
What did you say?
Thank you, Didi.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. I think there are some few feedback forms, so if you can just give your ideas.
Well, it's council needed, so
Maybe ask Nilisha and Vinod Bhai, our Gulab Bhai Mistri.